Hey, you see my scar where they drained the blood out of me, bro. About 6 tubes, man. 6, 7 tubes, and they told me go pee in this jar. I'm like, I ain't no damn drug, you ain't drug addict, else. I'll take nothing but what y'all tell me to take. Shit. Yeah, damn. Wait till you get my age, you be doing that shit too, so. Yeah, don't need to, man. Kiki still home? What the fuck? You tell her to stay ass at home. Tell her I said so. Had to put the smack down. Yeah, I know how that is, bro. I used to, hey Brandon, are you still doing stuff with the screen? Okay. Okay, I want to kind of read the script again and stuff and see where I'm at. I don't know if you made any changes at all.
Yeah, I had that little piece.
Oh, you did? Okay. First set went toward the end. Oh yeah, I see it. I see it. Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
Respect the talk, respect the talk. Respect the talk, respect the talk. Respect the talk, respect the talk.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
Respect the talk, respect the talk. Respect the talk.
Okay, you can have that roll back now if you need it. But take this back to the top, I guess.
Respect the talk. Respect the talk, respect the talk.
Was there a second step over in the White House? It was one. It was out there.
That was this weekend. I was just right outside the grounds, you know. Yeah.
Respect the talk, respect the talk.
It was just in front of the grounds. There's the one block, that one block in front of the White House that's full of shops and restaurants and stores. I mean, you literally can walk across the street and there's the gate to get into the White House. That's how close this block of restaurants and stuff is. You know, but that's where it was at, it's right there. But the guy been back there 3 times. That was his 3rd time. You know. Anyway, you know, so. Not right now. I think that shit's gone. I mean, they always have National Guard at the gate, but you know. Hello, folks. My name is Jerry B. from Pride and Glory Travel Cruise Planner, and I'm here to tell you about our Where To Next 2026 vacation calendar. Starting off with May 2nd on Freedom of the Seas, Royal Caribbean, going out for 5 days. Then we're doing our land and air vacation. You asked for it. Here we're going out to Vegas in 6 days over in Hawaii and just having a blast. And this kicks off on June 17th. Then another one you asked for, we head back out to Alaska again on July 26th on a beautiful ship, Celebrity Edge. Then in October, another trip you asked for. We heading over to Aruba and Carousel. This is going out October 17th on Allure of the Seas. And then our biggest trip of the year is on Allure of the Seas, November 29th, which is our hog biker cruise. You don't need to be a hog or biker to attend. Just come have some fun. We having our leather and lace karaoke party. We having a pool get together. And you got entertainment by me, Jerry B, and my younger brother, Timmy B, doing a show for you guys. So grab your pencil and paper, call Jerry at 920-265-8143 or Pam at 401-368-3275 or John 703-346-8352. And as always, see you at sea.
Oh, what's up, folks? And happy day after Memorial Day. It's Tuesday. Got my nephew back with us today. I tell you, what's up, nephew? Did you have a good time this weekend, man?
I did. I relaxed and chilled out, and
Nothing.
that's about it.
Yeah, that's exactly what me and my wife
Nothing.
did. We didn't do absolutely nothing. I did smoke one rack of ribs yesterday, and I did the
Okay.
cheating way. I did it on the grill. So not my smoker.
You did more than I did. I think I went to Walmart and grabbed a salad and some chicken tenders and made me a chicken Caesar salad.
That sounds heavenly to me because I love those things, man. I
Yeah,
love
same
it.
here.
I did that a while back ago. I think the week before that, I did me some blackened chicken, and put that on the salad and everything, and I made my own rub. Oh my God, it was so good. Oh, God. I can still
That
taste it.
sounds
It's so
perfect.
good. Sounds so good. Well, man, it's glad to have you back here, man, on this day here. I tell you, it's a wonderful day after Memorial Day.
Yeah.
All kind of crazy stuff is going on. So welcome back to Respect the Talk, y'all. I'm your host, Jerry B. And first off, this is my nephew, Boo Jr., or whatever the hell he wants to go by today, James. And first off, we want to thank everybody that continues to tune in every single week to be a part of these conversations. Whether you agree with us or disagree with Junior, or somewhere in the middle. We appreciate every single one of y'all. Before we get started, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications so you never miss a live episode. And most important, jump in on the comments tonight, folks, because we already know this conversation is going to bring out some strong opinions. This isn't about yelling over each other, though. It's not about that. It's about respecting the conversation. So share the stream with somebody, tag somebody, and let's get into it. Come on, James, what do we got here tonight? Yeah.
All right. Once again, hello everybody, and welcome back. Tonight we got a pretty good lineup, like you mentioned. We're starting off talking about Memorial Day and what all we did, the real meaning behind it, honoring the men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice in this country,
Yes.
and whether we lost sight of that over the years. Then we're shifting into technology and these self-driving robot cars from all the sci-fi movies you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Are people really comfortable giving up that much control? And if the car is driving itself, what exactly are the rules?
Yeah.
After that, we're diving headfirst into the political divide in America. Trump supporters, broken friendships, family ties ripped apart, falling apart, and whether politics has become a reflection of personal morals and values instead of just opinion. And then we're closing things out talking about government spending. Yeah, your tax dollars
Yes.
at work. The national deficit, the orange menace, Democrats, and why America feels like nobody is offering real solutions anymore. So let's get into it.
Welcome to Respect the Talk with Jerry B.
Respect the talk. Respect the talk. Respect the talk.
All right, folks, we're back here. Like always, as James Boo Jr., whatever, grab your cup. Okay, you got his cup, y'all. Get your drink and sit back, relax, and get ready for an exciting show. Don't forget, get to our website, get to your page, get your computer out, get your phone out, tag us, come back in, jump in on the conversation. We would really love to hear from you. Guaranteed we love to hear it. Now, let's talk about Memorial Day, folks, because that was just yesterday. Still in the back of everybody's mind. You know what's wild about the holidays, okay? After a while, and I'm going to run through this and bring my nephew in here, but after a while, we start celebrating the day, and you can jump in anytime you want to. Celebrating the day and forget why that day even exists. And Memorial Day is probably the biggest example of that. Everybody's out grilling on the boat, on the beach, posting food pictures, buying mattresses on sale. And listen, I'm not saying people shouldn't enjoy the day. Trust me, I'm not. But somewhere along the line, we turned a day of remembrance into just another long weekend. I caught myself doing it earlier this weekend. Seriously, I did. That's why I called myself out. I tell you guys this. I told somebody Happy Memorial Day, and then I stopped and thought about it. Happy this really shouldn't be. This should be more like God bless our fallen soldiers, because this day ain't about us relaxing. It's about remembering people who never made it home. Think about God. Think about that. The Gold Star families today, which is yesterday, Memorial Day, while other people were out partying, they're remembering their sons, their daughters, their husbands, wives, mothers, and fathers. Somebody who made the ultimate sacrifice so the rest of us could go sit here comfortably arguing politics online and complaining about gas prices. And there's exactly traditions tied to this day that most people don't even know anymore. From sunrise to noon, that the flag flies should be flown at half staff for mourning. At noon, it gets raised back up to honor the living veterans and service members. And then at 3 p.m., that's where we all supposed to take 1 minute of silence, just 1 minute. And that's all they're asking for. 1 minute to stop scrolling, stop talking, stop moving around, just reflect. Back then, I got to tell you guys a little history story here, and then I'm going to bring my nephew in here. Back then, it was called, just so you guys know, because a lot of people don't know the history, but Memorial Day was actually called Decoration Day. And what's powerful is the earliest recorded Memorial Day happened in 1865 in Charleston, South Carolina, led by newly freed Black Americans and Black Union troops. They took 250 Union soldiers out of a mass grave that the Confederacy had dug a big hole and just dumped them all in. And they gave them proper burials and honored them with a parade of over 10,000 people led by Black school children. Think about that. Even in the middle of pain and division, people still understood the importance of honoring those who sacrificed everything. So seriously, set an alarm clock for 3 p.m. if you didn't do it, but do it from now on, wherever you are. Cookouts, restaurants, driving at home, that's okay. Let's do that. But take that minute next year, because whether you agree with wars or politics or government decisions, those people still gave everything. And the least we can do is give them 60 seconds of respect. And honestly, maybe if more of us remember the meaning behind these days like this, we carry ourselves a little differently the other 364 days too. Because I always say thank you to any veteran I run into. I thank them for their service, and I run into a lot of them. Jump in here, James. Let's talk about this for a little bit.
I agree wholeheartedly. Most of the holidays, like you mentioned, have turned into celebrations of the day off.
Hallmark.
That's what it is. It's a celebration, not of anything in particular other than the day off work.
Hallmark.
That's what all of our holidays have turned into. Meanings have been lost, and 100%. You hit three facts about Memorial Day that I never knew. Hell, I'll be honest with you. I forget which one is Memorial Day and which one
Labor
is
Day.
Veterans Day.
Yeah.
They all do
They
the
run
same
it
thing.
together. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm totally 100% in agreement with you. We need to come back to the basics.
Yeah.
Go back to the basics, man, because you're 100% right. That they deserve that.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with celebrating, but celebrate while you're memorializing these people who lost their lives and gave their lives for our freedom. I don't
100%.
cook out, go to movies, do all that fun stuff. But at least, like I said, give that 60 seconds at 3 p.m. 60 seconds is all it takes to just say thank you for your service. Because without them, you wouldn't be out here doing cookouts, going to movies or shopping and doing all this other crazy stuff. So it's weird. And the history behind how Memorial Day started was just it's deep, and people right away they think, when you ask somebody what is Memorial Day, oh, it's memorializing our fallen. But which fallen are they thinking about? They thinking about white fallen. They're not thinking about the Black soldiers that got thrown in a dark grave from the Confederate soldiers way back in the day, and they got memorialized because they fought for this country. You know, I mean, they're not thinking about the German soldiers that buried our black soldiers. You know, so I mean, blacks had, you know, we talked about that before too in life, that blacks had so much history to do, so much to do with our history in the United States, and I hate it because they're trying to wipe it out. And I posted today, not on my watch, not on my watch. I'm gonna keep posting it to the day I die, and I hope that somebody would take over for me and make sure they remember the things that our black people have done in this country to make this country the greatness that it is. Hell, we built the White House that this idiot's sitting in and tearing apart. You
Most
know?
of the monuments in DC.
Yeah, I know. Pretty much all the monuments, and he's sitting up there tearing them apart. And it's like, we built it. Black people build them. You know, it's like, come on, y'all, wake the hell up. And it's sad, but that's just my opinion. What do I know? You know, my
And
heart.
and as a side note and tied in note, um, we honestly need to give our veterans, fallen and returned, and including those MIA soldiers, because we still have a long list of those.
Oh, absolutely.
We need to give them more respect. You know, there was a time back after World War One, World War Two, our military had so much respect. Everyone showed their
Oh my God.
gratitude.
Yeah,
Like you
absolutely.
said, everyone thanked the veteran. Everyone seeing a veteran would get a hug.
Yeah.
You saw posters
Oh,
everywhere,
absolutely. Yeah.
famous photos. You know, one that comes to mind right off the top of my head is that famous photo. I believe it was a Time magazine cover where the sailors are coming home and you have the one sailor center shot kissing some woman
Yeah,
doing a
they got a
east side
statue. They
kiss.
got a statue of them right down here in I can't think of in what town down here in Florida. A huge monumental statue of the he was a sailor and got this lady all bent over kissing her. You know,
Yeah,
so
you
we're coming
know,
home from war.
we have so many statues um throughout the country celebrating these fallen soldiers, these soldiers in general, and we that's gone to the wayside.
Yeah, yeah,
Like you mentioned, I thank other veterans all the time. Whenever I recognize that one is a veteran, I thank them for service.
yeah.
Um, and I don't always put out there that I'm a veteran as well, but I want to make sure that they know it, that I appreciate their sacrifices,
Right.
because quite honestly, my time in the service wasn't necessarily for love of country. It was because I had a family, um, up and coming, and the recruiter came to me and said, "Hey, kids
We
are
can.
$28 a piece to be born,
Right.
and you can go there and get some training." So that I mine was purely selfish. It wasn't necessarily patriotic.
Well, no,
But
but
there
you
are
wait, don't say that because you know a lot of that. You're not the only one, dude. Because there was a lot of people joined the service because they thought when I get out, I could buy me a house.
absolutely,
You know,
absolutely.
their thing wasn't going to serve in war. And like we talked about this before, nobody goes into the army to say I want to fight in a war. And if they do, they seriously kick them out of the army because they think the person's got psychological problems. Nobody goes and joins and signs up saying send me to war. You know, like I
Well,
said, it
that's
just
not 100% true,
well, you might have
because
some idiots out
right,
there that do, but most of them people they
so
send to a
right
psychiatric
after
ward.
right after 9/11, where there was a surge in enlistment because they felt like they
That's
needed to
true.
do
Good, true.
something.
Yeah, that's true. You're right about that. Yeah.
They needed to do something. So there are still those out there who feel like they have a calling and that they want to do something, um, to pay back this country for all that it's giving them and their family. Um, but that being said, we've gone way past, um, going into a bar as a veteran and somebody finding out that you are a veteran and say, "Hey, let me buy you a beer," or you going to a McDonald's and, somebody saying, "Let me pay for your meal today."
Right. Right.
You know, even even on those that at a time there was a time when that was a commonplace. That wasn't done just on holiday.
Right. Yeah.
Nowadays, especially since the Vietnam War, based on what I was told, the way I was educated, um, a lot of that went away. The
Yeah.
military, because everyone was taught that that was an unjust war, much like what we're in now, um, that we shouldn't have been over there, that there was a lot of
Right.
baby killing and child killing,
Right.
that the military in general had got a bad rep.
Right.
So what was all respect and love for the military was tarnished.
Right.
There's still a lot of that today. There's a lot of businesses that are out there that on the Memorial Day as well as Veterans Day, they go above and beyond and they offer us vets different discounts or
Right.
free
Yeah.
meal, free whatever. And but that's not a common thing anymore.
Right. Well,
And like we were saying, the vets need that. That we deserve just the fact that we took the risk.
right, exactly. And here's my thing though. And I'm a huge veteran supporter because I do so much for the veterans. I ran, a cruise line and raised money for them. I'll do whatever I can to help veterans. I thank them for their service and everything else. I do have my complaints about veterans though, not the old veterans. Old veterans are right on point. Love those guys to death. It's the new veterans I have an issue with. Reason why? Because and I got this same complaint with a lot of the people who's running around here perpetrating that they're so patriotic in this world and they support the veterans. And I always say this on Facebook. If you're that big of a supporter of the veterans, go to the VFW and buy dinner. Somebody will sign you in. The dinners there are cheap. Go on a Friday night. It's like $10. Have a dinner there. Meet some other veterans. They will sign you in. Have a drink. Enjoy the entertainment. Support that lodge. Support one of these lodges. I play at so many of these lodges here right now. And this is going to probably go out to any young veteran, you and anybody else out there who's young, that don't support these lodges because these places are dying because the only people that are in these VFWs are old people. And these old people dying off, so they're losing I play them, I see them. They're dying off. They can't get members, and they keep trying to get newer, younger members in there, and they just won't support it. And I don't understand it. You're a veteran. Why wouldn't you support the VFW? It's about you.
In my case, I will tell you, VFW, Veterans of Foreign Wars.
Well, you got to
I
have boots on the ground. You got to be veterans of foreign war. VFW is about veterans of foreign war. If you didn't go to war, you wouldn't. You can still go, but you wouldn't be. That wouldn't be where you need to be. You would need to be like at the Legion or the Mooses or something like that. The VFW is foreign wars. If you fought in a foreign war, that's what the VFW starts for. It stands for Veterans of Foreign War. So if you're overseas fighting, you're welcome. But you're going to be welcome anyway because you're a veteran. But it's all about the veterans for foreign wars. All the others go to the Mooses, the Legions, and everything else. But people don't even support those places.
no,
And those places, because I play at a lot of them, and they're dying off because I see a lot of these old people in there that are veterans. They might have not been for foreign wars, but they're veterans, and they can't get the young people to come in that are retired service people. And I was like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. They drinks are cheaper, their food's cheaper, and you're over here at the bar paying $10 for a beer when you could be at the Moose or something paying $5 for a beer. I don't get that logic.
well, again, we're going back to the respect for our veterans. The recruitment is down.
Yeah,
There aren't even as many veterans as there used to be because there aren't as many people who are interested in serving.
yeah, yeah.
It's. I mentioned that I joined for selfish reasons. There are more people out there like me than there are people who went into the service, any branch, purely because they felt that they owed their country something.
Right, right, exactly. Exactly. Well, I said that earlier.
So um, veteran lodges, that's there. You're 100% correct. They're like dinosaurs.
Mm.
There's very little interest in them anymore. And even even going to our locations that are designed specifically for veterans, um, they they aren't what they used to be.
Right.
As a veteran myself, I know going to the VA, for for hospital visits or whatever, things are totally different than what they were when I first got out.
Right.
Things are totally different than what was originally promised to me.
Right.
I was told that I would have health care for life. I didn't know that I had to be um, qualified at a certain disability to
Right,
have
to be able to
free.
get it, yeah, to get it, yeah. Because I know some
Yeah,
veterans are who have fought in foreign wars and they're fighting to get 100% disability, which is sad because they got cancer from Agent Orange and stuff. I got a bunch of friends of mine like that, and I'm like, just like you know, they were promised the moon and they come home and they're not getting the moon. They still here on Earth, you know, getting
yeah,
shafted, you
yeah.
know. So hey, let we
Instead of getting the moon, we're getting the mountaintop, and
exactly, exactly,
it's
you know,
long way away is better than nothing, but it's
yeah.
still a long way from what was promised.
Right, exactly. You know, so hey, let's move on to the other topic because we talk about this all day long, and let's get into this other thing that's been bugging me because I posted something again a while back ago, and it's talking about these self-driving cars that you mentioned. And so I'm sitting here watching TV, and this commercial comes on for a self-driving car, and immediately my brain starts doing what it always does, asking questions nobody else seems to ask. First thing I thought was, what type of person is comfortable letting a car completely drive them around? Because my personality, I got to be in control. I'm a control freak. I don't even think I'm a control freak, but I like being in control. And I don't even like being the passenger when somebody else is driving too fast. Now you want me to trust a computer? Nah, I need my hands on the wheel. I need to know if we about to hit something I can read. And maybe that says something about personality too, because maybe people who don't mind self-driving cars are people more comfortable giving up control in general. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. But then my mind went somewhere else. How are the police even going to handle this stuff? Okay, seriously, right now, they tell you you don't text, you don't drive, don't eat while driving, don't be distracted while driving, keep your eyes on the road. Okay, but what if the car is driving itself? Then technically, what exactly am I supposed to be doing? Just sitting there staring out the window or windshield like a hostage? I mean, think about that. What do? You know, you already know people gonna be Zoom calling, eating tacos, watching Netflix, taking naps, probably putting on makeup, playing games all while flying down the interstate at 75 miles an hour. So if a cop sees you looking down on your phone in a self-driving car, can they pull you over or not? And if the car crashes, who gets blamed? You, the car company, the software updates? See, these are kind of random thoughts that hit me when I hear people talking about the future. And look, technology is moving, whether we like it or not. That train already left the station. By the time this stuff fully takes over, I'll probably be old somewhere yelling at clouds taking me back in the day, which we actually drove our own cars. But good luck to the rest of y'all out there. I hope your Wi-Fi don't disconnect while your car doing it's 80 miles on the highway. Here's the thing, too, before you jump in. I was watching a TV news, and this scares the crap out of me because they said this Waymo got stuck because the streets got flooded. I think it was in Texas. The streets got flooded and no cars could drive through. But this Waymo car drove through because it didn't recognize the street was flooded. So then the Waymo got stuck out there, electric car, battery shot to crap. Now, mind you, this is a $15,000 battery. You want to take your chance with a self-driving car driving you into a flooded street?
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. I've watched way too many movies, too many sci-fi movies. I'm a sci-fi buff.
Me too, yeah.
So I've watched way too many movies of self-driving cars and flying cars and everything else, everything in between. Um, I've watched most recently, what was the name of that TV show where um oh wait, there was a couple of them. There was a TV show where the end of the world was happening, and all these cars were just self-driving cars were just crashing into each other on the interstate.
Right.
Um, and then more recently, I watched Citadel. Great movie, great series to watch. If
All
you
right.
haven't, watch it. Citadel, the first season, there was a time when a self-driving car, the programming was overridden, and they were using these self-driving cars to target these people who were assassins, basically.
Uh,
So whoever was in controlling these cars, there was an image uploaded into the programming, and they were designed to try and run them over.
well, you think about that because you're talking technology, and people are breaking into people's phones already, and creeping all your information, breaking into your laptops and everything. Wait a minute, I'm gonna put my technology in a car that nobody you think nobody could break into. I mean, that to me is just a little bit
Yeah,
cuckoo in the head.
and on that level, we just had a couple of years of Hyundai's that were up for grabs simply because there was a
Yeah,
programming where anybody who could break into them, if they broke
yeah,
the window, they could get use a flash drive to override the car and take
right.
off
And
with it.
take off with it. They were stealing them like they were crazy.
Yeah, yeah. So I personally just a couple of weeks ago when I went home, I rented a car and it amazed me because I'm sitting there driving down the road, cruise control on. I'm focused on the road in front of me, and all of a sudden it dawned on me that the road was turning and the wheel was turning
Yeah,
itself, and
it's
it
yeah,
wasn't me,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, and it's because
You
the
had that lane
combination
assist on.
of Yep, the combination of, cruise control and lane assist meant that the car was steering itself through. I mean, and
Yeah,
I was like, "This isn't really
yeah,
what's going on, right?" And I saw a slight turn in the road coming up ahead, and I let go of the wheel, and I watched. I'm watching, but
yeah,
I'm, like, right there ready to grab
yeah,
it, and I turned with the road, stayed in the
yeah.
lanes perfectly, and I'm
My
like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, my cars do that, all of them, and then they got the what's the name, the distance too, that it automatically brake for you, so it will not allow you to hit anything.
Exactly.
It
That was the
automatically
other
brakes
part.
and stops, and it just because I almost hit somebody, and it came to almost a squeaking halt. It wasn't on me; it's just the car up front slowed down drastically, so my car instantly came like it was ready to hit the brake, and I was like, "Holy shit!" But it just takes
Yeah,
over, and it's
yeah,
like, wow, okay,
completely.
you can turn this stuff on and off, which sometimes I do. The lane assist I turn off because it drives me nuts because I'm trying to drive and it keeps pulling me one way because I'm not turning as fast as it wants me to. But God forbid you take your hands off because then it starts screaming at you. Put your hands back on the wheel.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it did that, but that was after I realized that, like you said, lane assist kept me in the lanes.
yeah.
Cruise control kept me driving without my feet on the
Yeah,
brake or
right.
gas.
Yeah,
And then when I came up too close to a car, it slowed me down so
yeah,
that I was at a reasonable distance.
right.
I was just like, "Whoa, this is
And you
like."
can change that distance from 1 to 2 to 3 car distance. So I set mine to 1 car because I hate it when it slows down and it's 3 cars back. I'm like, come on, man, give me a little closer to the next car at least. So I changed it,
Right.
and I got mine set to 1. But yeah, technology is amazing. I'm not, it's going to happen. There's nothing anybody could do about it. In my lifetime, I don't know how soon it's going to get all the way there. Like I said, I seen that Waymo car drive right into a flood. They showed it on the news. You can Google that, man, and it'll show you this thing. I mean, the water sitting over the windows of the car. I mean, that's how the deep that water was, and this stupid car drove right into it. And it's like, wait a minute. I mean, just because there's a road there, don't mean you need to drive down it if it's flooded. Or so
Here you are. You're saying you don't know if it's going to happen fully in your lifetime. We've had self-parking cars
yeah.
for a few years now. We've had cars that they said were going to be self-driving
Well,
that
what I mean by
can
that is
do.
what I mean by that is it going to take over the whole world right now? I mean, right now, people still like me are cautiously optimistic. So you see these people out there buying them because they want to try it and they got to have it. They got to have this like that garbage can that drives down the street. I don't know why people think that's a nice looking car, but but
Yeah.
people will buy stuff just because they want to be the first to have it. You got those people out there, but then you got people like us that's going to be I don't think so. Not ready yet. Not just that, the
But
electric cars, period. People are still hesitant about that, you
oh,
know?
absolutely. but that has more to do with cost and infrastructure than anything else, I think.
Right, it
You know,
does.
that our infrastructure isn't ready for that many people to have electric cars. Um, the technology isn't quite there yet,
Right.
because if I have to spend a half an hour to an hour to be able to drive 400 uh 400 200 miles, I'd rather get gas where I can pull into a gas station and fill up
You
in
get right
5
back on
minutes.
the road. Yeah, be back on the road again instead of sitting over on the side of the road for an hour to charge my car back up.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah.
first of all, trying to plan to find a charging station is a whole different adventure as well.
Well, you know what?
So,
I talked to a gentleman who had one of those cyber trucks from what's his name, and he said the neat thing, and I don't know if all of them got this, but the neat thing is it's programmed to, if your battery is getting low, it starts finding the next power station to charge your car to make sure you have enough distance between running out of power to getting to that station. So it automatically configures that.
yeah, but does it do that based off of where you're going or just the nearest location? So you could end up going backwards. I could be
Right.
on my way out of town, and then
You got to
I
make a
may
U-turn because
pass right. I got to go backwards now in
yeah,
order
that's the
to make it to
closest.
the nearest
Yeah,
station.
that's the closest power station. Yeah, yeah. I really
So
don't know the logistics of that. He had one of those ugly. I got a chance to first see one of those whatever they call those trucks that Elon Musk, and so I actually got a chance to see the inside because the guy stopped at my warehouse and he let me look at the inside, and I mean it's different. It's one of those trucks that all four wheels turn. When
yeah,
you drive in, which is I don't conceive that, but
like
whatever.
like a, well, the firemen have been driving like that for years.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's just it's a cyber truck and it is what it is. I mean, it's not for me. Although I did think about the need for that because I'm getting ready to get a bionic leg on a 12, and that ain't funny, man.
You said a bionic knee, a leg.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is. Yeah,
they they,
that is
they,
funny.
they
You didn't say a prosthetic. If you would have just said a prosthetic,
but
I
it's
would have
not
been
it's not a
all over it.
prosthetic. It's something to go over my leg, so it's a bionic leg. It helps my leg that I already have do what I needed to do.
All
So
right,
and I really
awesome.
got fitted for last week, so I pick it up on the 12th. So I'm sitting there thinking, when I got this darn thing on my leg, because it goes from the thigh all the way down, how in the hell am I gonna get in my car and drive? Because this thing locks my knee in place and it's all computerized. So how do I tell this thing to bend my knee underneath my other leg so I can drive the car? It just is good. I'm trying to figure this out in my head. I'm sure because I don't want to have to take it on and off just to get in the car because it's going to probably take me 10 minutes just to get the damn thing on and off. So I figured, you know what? How do I navigate that? So then I started thinking, aha, electric car, a self-driving car. Then I ain't got to worry about it. I jump my ass in the back seat, say screw it.
And like I said, the only reason I laugh is because I'm old enough to remember the $6 million
I
man.
know.
So yeah, when you said a
Well,
bionic,
but by the
that's what
time that
came to my mind.
dude, by the time they get done with me, I'm gonna be buying it because I got a computer chip in my back. They putting a computer on my damn leg. They got all kind of crap going on in there. I am gonna be the bionic man that's gonna live forever. I'm gonna wind up getting me one of those Michael Knight kit cars. Self-driving kit, drive me over here. Hey, let's take a break, man. I mean, because it's that time, man. We come back at you guys. Stick around, folks. We got another great episode. 2 of them coming at you. We'll be right back in 2 and 2.
Hello, folks. My name is Jerry B. from Pride and Glory Travel Cruise Planner, and I'm here to tell you about our Where to Next 2026 vacation calendar. Starting off with May 2nd on Freedom of the Seas World Caribbean, going out for 5 days. Then we're doing our land and air vacation. You asked for it. Here we're going out to Vegas in 6 days over in Hawaii and just having a blast. And this kicks off on June 17th. Then another one you asked for, we head back out to Alaska again on July 26th on the beautiful ship Celebrity Edge. Then in October, another trip you asked for. We headed over to Aruba and Carousel. This is going out October 17th on Allure of the Seas. And then our biggest trip of the year is on the Lure of the Seas, November 29th, which is our hog biker cruise. You don't need to be a hog or biker to attend. Just come have some fun. We having our leather and lace karaoke party. We having a pool get together. And you got entertainment by me, Jerry B, and my younger brother, Timmy B, doing the show for you guys. So grab your pencil and paper, call Jerry at 920-265-8143, or Pam at 401-368-3275, or John, 703-346-8352. And as always, see you at sea. Hello, folks. My name is Jerry B from Pride Gorge.
All right, folks, we're back, like I said. Whew, I tell you, we're sitting up here laughing about my bionic leg, you guys. So don't think, I tell you, we be laughing while we're on break, Don't think we're not talking. They over there cracking up
and
about
the producer jumped in and said he laughed too. So I want everybody out there who knows who the $6 million man is to comment that they know and they laughed too.
Yeah, I tell you, man.
Because I want to know it wasn't just me, that I wasn't being insensitive.
You know what? I had, I'm sitting up here trying to deal with this because this is like my third. Well, the first time I went in, he let me try the prototype, which is this huge honking machine. He's like, it ain't going to be that big. It ain't going to be that big. I'm like, I hope not, dude, because this is huge. So, but he wanted me to walk in it. So I'm walking in it, and I'm like, okay, this is all right. It's taking the pressure off my back, and it's allowing me to stand on one leg, on my right leg, and not collapse, which is, and I felt no pain, not that much pain to use, So I'm like, okay, this is okay, as long as it's not that big. So then I had to come back 2 weeks later, which was just last week, because then they made the mold to my foot, my leg. And then had me walking all this other crap. So I did all that just this week. Like, okay, this is okay, But this wasn't bionic, though. This was just they put locking on it thing or whatever on the side. But the next one he said, now this was a little bit bulky, but still ain't going to be that bulky. Like, okay, well, as long as you keep trimming this down, because this thing was big, dude. So I see them on the 12th and pick it up and see what it's like, man, But
So I'm curious though, is it a prosthetic leg where it's gonna look like a leg, or are you gonna look like the T1000?
No, I still got a leg. So my leg, I still got my right leg. That ain't went nowhere. It just goes over my leg. It goes behind my thigh and in front of my calf. But it's got the motor itself works on the knee. So it's two motors on each side of the knee, so it walks me, it just bends and locks, opens and locks, and allow me to not have to fall on my face because my leg is starting to get worse. So I've been, tumbling, stumbling every now and then, so this is going to help me.
I'm telling you, when you said bionic leg, it made me think of a combination of the $6 million man and the Terminator movies, because all I could see was like this chrome configuration that came down from your knee all the way down, like the Terminator had gotten hit by acid on one of his legs.
Yeah.
Please,
and this literally goes into my shoe and stuff, and there's a piece that goes up underneath because I got drop foot, so it literally prevents me from collapsing or falling. It's really cool. It's going to take a little bit getting used to, I'm sure, just like anything else. But hey, if it works to take the pain away, because that's what it's supposed to do, is help me. Supposed to take the pain away from me using my hip, because that's going to do all the work now. So I'm like, okay, well, let's see how this thing does. If it doesn't work, it'll be sitting in a corner collecting dust like some of the other crap I got around here. So anyway, let's move on. We got another great show here. Like I said, folks, let's get to the next topic, because we're going to talk about Trump politics and broken relationship. Hope. Don't freak out, folks, and start saying, oh, there they go again. They're getting ready to get on my president. Yes, I am. Here's the deal. Before you guys start screaming at me, because I remember when the election was going on, and you guys were sitting up there, all you Trump supporters were sitting up there saying, well, Biden's hiding in a basement, and he can no reporter don't even talk to no reporters. Look at Trump; he talks to everybody, and that lies the problem, because every day you wake up, you see this man 5, 6, 7 times a day running his mouth. If he just goes somewhere and sit his ass down, we wouldn't have to be talking about him because there would be nothing to talk about. He didn't say nothing today, nor did he do anything today. And you guys know we're right. Every day he does something that make everybody have something to talk about. Why? Because he likes to be in the news. He even said it. He wants to be out there. So don't get mad at me. Don't hate the messenger. In this case, don't hate the messengers because it's two of us. Anyway, you know what's become really uncomfortable in this country? The fact that politics ain't just politics anymore. Back in the day, people argued over taxes, budgets, roads, education, and then still sat down together at Thanksgiving afterwards. Now families stop talking, friendships end, people cut each other off completely, and a lot of people keep saying, why can't we just agree to disagree? But for many people, especially around Trump, it stopped feeling like a disagreement over policy a long time ago. It became personal, morals even, because people aren't just hearing, I like lower my taxes, I vote for Republicans. They're hearing what behaviors somebody is willing to excuse, defend, or overlook. And whether you agree with that or not, that's the reality of where we are today, folks. See, one side looks at Trump and sees strength, disruption, somebody fighting the system. The other side looks at him and sees cruelty, chaos, revenge, division, attacks on domestic norms. So when somebody loudly supports him,
And corruption.
huh?
And corruption.
And corruption. So when somebody loudly supports him, people start attacking meaning to that support behind politics itself. That's why relationships change, you guys. That is why relationships change. Because honestly, social media made all of this worse. Because now everybody's political identity is on full display 24/7. People aren't quietly voting anymore. They're posting memes, arguing online, calling each other evil every day. And eventually people stop debating ideas and start judging character. Now, listen, that doesn't mean every Trump voter is hateful. That's not true. We don't believe that here, not on this show. We don't believe that. Me or Junior or my producer, we don't believe that. That's too simplistic and honestly lazy. Millions of people vote differently for different reasons: economy, immigration, frustration with the government, or whatever. But it also doesn't mean people are obligated to ignore what they feel are serious moral concerns. And that's where I draw the line. And what scares me is we don't even know how to talk to each other anymore. Everything immediately becomes, you're brainwashed, you're evil, you hate America, you hate democracy. No room for nuances, no room for conversations. And if we keep going down this road, eventually they won't even be a middle left in this country. Just tribes screaming at each other while the people in power keep getting richer and more powerful off the division. That's the part people should really, really be worried about. Come on, jump into James.
I couldn't agree more, man. We're at a point now, and I say this all the time, that the internet was a boom and a bang at the same
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
because it and I just said this last week, that it made the world smaller so that like minds can get together. And that's good and bad, because we have people who are out there working toward a common goal. For example, the young man that was turning plastics into gasoline,
Right,
calling
yeah.
it plastiline. He had a lot of people who jumped in and said, "Hey, I want to donate. Hey, I got this. Hey, why don't you try this?" You know, that was a great
Right,
thing.
yeah.
With all the metric tons of plastic that we
And the
waste
oceans
every
and stuff.
year,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
if we can turn that into a working biofuel that can be ran in our cars,
Amazing.
that will eliminate so many of the other issues that we have, um, as far as our environment.
Right.
But at the same time, people who are pedos, people who are up to no good, let's put it this way,
Right, yeah.
um, they're all able to communicate as well. They're all able to, I mean, they just recently started talking about the latest episode of Dexter,
Yeah.
where all the greatest serial killers were coming together for a union or reunion, whatever you want to call it. And that's the kind of thing that the internet is making possible.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Well, a lot of that also means that information is just out there.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
that's the bottom line.
And it's scary.
Information is
It's
out
scary. Yeah.
there. But we have so many people who refuse to look at the information that is so readily available.
Right.
People
Yeah.
who are listening to um, the Orange Menace
Yeah.
and everything he says and takes it as gospel, and they're doing zero research.
Right. Yeah. I know.
Um, I just recently spoke to an elderly woman who all she has heard is from that side saying that Iran has been threatening us for 50 years.
Right.
Well, no, that's not totally true.
Right.
We funded Iran when their war against Iraq and then sold Iraq missiles and
Right.
vice versa.
Right. Exactly.
So we've played both sides. We've created our own problems. We created the ISIS and
It Hezbollah.
Hezbollah.
Hezbollah. Yeah, I know.
We created those because we put ourselves in positions where we attack people and with overwhelming force that wasn't necessary.
Right.
And we killed civilians.
Right. Killed their families and their kids and everything else. And they are pissed.
Which made it easy for them to hate us.
Yeah.
Which made it even easier for somebody who's up to no good to turn around and radicalize them to make them want to do something else to us.
And I said that always. I've said that all the time. We've had that conversation on this show of how the United States are not coming to the table with clean hands. So you got our government in there telling everybody, and that's what you hear all the Lindsey Grahams and all the other people, where they've been saying screw death to America for 47 years on all this other crap. They don't tell you why they've been calling death to America. That is the issue. And all these people, I'm not gonna call you idiots, I'm sorry, folks, but all you folks out there that's listening to this, all you hear is they're calling death to America. And we're Americans and they can't say death to America, but you're not hearing why are they saying death to America. And if you actually do your research, all you folks out there believing this, do your research. It'll tell you right out there why they are saying this, because we got involved in their situation. We bombed them over there and killed their women and their children and their moms and dads and pissed them off. And like you said, that became the Hezbollah and the ISIS and stuff, because they are pissed off, and they figure, well, the United States gonna keep getting involved in our domestic policy, so we're gonna get involved in this and try to blow their shit up. And here's the rub here in the United States, because this is so crazy, because we allow people from Iran and Iraq over in the United States, and they get, what do they call that, where they get radicalized online. Now, the United States call this free speech, but you can actually go online and you can Google how to build a bomb. Now, I don't understand what sense that makes. Free speech only goes so far. And if you're online and the United States refuse to shut down the sites that allows you to do that, because they call it, guess what? Free speech.
Right. But I got to jump in there, because as soon as you start Googling stuff like that, how to make a bomb, and if you do that one too many times, like the second or third time you do that, you're put on a list. That gets flagged. You get put on a list. So it's not just freedom willy-nilly for people to be able to do that.
Right. No, I get that. I know it's gonna get flagged, but people got the information. You can print it off now. You do it one time, you can print it off, you can share it to all your friends. I mean, you shouldn't be able to Google it no time, period. Because it's a bomb, As soon as you say bomb, that should automatically flag and get it out of here. That's just like hiring a hitman. Back in the day, they used to have those magazines. I can't remember the magazines it was, but you can put a code in the magazine and you can hire a hitman. It's like, wait a minute, you guys don't stop this? You know what's going on and you don't stop it? It's like, what the heck? So I don't get it. Free speech is not free, because
Right.
somebody's going to
And
get hurt.
we have, I got to say this because I said this last week. A lot of the laws aren't to keep good people being good. It's to keep messed up people and try to make them do the right thing. So it's kind of like your front door. So all those people who make sure that they go and lock their doors. How many windows and patio doors do you have in your house where if a person wanted to really come in, and how secure is that front door lock? If a person really wanted to come in, then they're coming in.
Right.
But along those lines, our laws are designed to keep good people good. And the flip side to that, it also exposes those who would do bad.
Right.
So um we've all seen the Dateline
Oh
with
yeah.
what's his name, where they set up stings and they catch guys coming in,
Yeah.
PDFs all over the place. And I mean, the law is there and they put things in place to catch them.
Right. Yeah.
So I, yes, no,
It's a slippery slope. I know it's a slippery
exactly.
slope, but I mean, it's very concerning. And at my age, I'm not even concerned anymore because it's not about me now. And I keep saying that it's about you guys and your kids and grandkids. And the sad thing is the younger generation is not paying that much attention. So let's move on to the next segment here because we're getting to that time. Spending, Democrats, and American direction. Look at folks, we're talking about Democrats. Get your hat on. Woo. So, man, this country feels like it's driving 100 miles an hour in thick fog right now. Okay, because I'm sitting here hearing Trump talk about building $1 billion ballroom at the White House, tying random violent incidents into it somehow, like the shooter, and saying, oh, that's why we need a ballroom because we had a shooter outside. Like, what? And I'm like, what does that one thing have to do with the other? Seriously. But you already know how this works now. Say it confidentially enough, repeat it enough times, and the hardcore supporters start nodding, yup, yup. That makes sense. We need to get a ballroom because there was a shooter outside. Meanwhile, the national debt is exploding. I mean, just exploding. And here's what's crazy to me. Republicans used to be used to scream about the deficit nonstop. They were the fiscal responsibility party. If you all remember that, the deficit hawk. They lost their minds over Biden spending. Now the deficit is still climbing like crazy. Projections push towards $2 trillion again, and suddenly that energy disappeared. But at the same time, where are the Democrats? And that's my issue. That is my issue. You cannot just build your entire message around Trump is crazy. We know already, half the country knows it, and the other half either like it or ignore it. What people want to hear is, what are you going to do better? How are you going to leave? How are you going to lower the cost? How are you going to stabilize the economy? How are you going to help regular people survive right now? That's strategy. Just screaming democracy is ending every 5 minutes without offering a clear vision ain't enough anymore. The Democrats need to they have to keep missing opportunities. Trump gives them, which we just talked about, every day. Trump gives them opportunities every day. Trump gives them controversy literally every week, and somehow they still struggle to connect with everyday Americans in a meaningful way. Then you got people arguing over who's the face of the party should be. AOC, moderates, progressive, old guard, young guard. Meanwhile, average Americans are just trying to pay rent and groceries. And honestly, the bigger picture here is sad because this feels like leadership and more than everybody fighting over the steering wheel while the car heads off the cliff. Too many hands on the steering wheel. Yo, Darryl saying too many hands on the steering wheel will make a car, crash. That's where the Democrats are going. And maybe that's why so many Americans are exhausted right now. People don't feel confident about the future anymore. And at this point, all you really can do is pray this country figures itself out before our kids and grandkids inherit something completely broken. And that's where we headed to. James, jump in here, man.
Absolutely, man. I've always said that while I will vote Democrat every single time simply because they're, in my opinion, the lesser two evils. They have more of my interest, um, and more of my self-interest and common ideas than the Republican Party.
The problem I have with that, though, you said you vote. Do you vote every Democrat person, or do you just if you know the
No, no,
person's
no.
a piece of crap, I'm not voting for him.
I'll be perfectly honest with you about that. I will do my research and as much as possible, um, and find whether or not they
Deserve your vote.
truly deserve my vote. However, if I get into a voting booth and I get to a section where I say, I don't know if I don't know anything about this particular race or this particular candidate, I will I will lean and support a Democrat blindly as opposed to I won't leave it blank because every one unvoted or every vote not cast is two votes toward the other side. Um, so I, I will vote blindly Democrat as opposed to blindly Republican or ever. And to
And
me,
see,
voting independent blindly will often be a wasted vote because independents are less likely to be a factor other than taking a vote away from the Democratic Party.
well, we know not necessarily because it could be taking a vote away from the Republican Party too. Depends on which side of the aisle you run on. There are a few independents that are in Congress right now and Senate that are independent people, and they run on an independent ticket. So I guess the goal is to try to get more independent, like-minded people to run for office, to start getting into office because I think Americans are tired of both parties right now. I really do. I'm a firm believer. I think people are just tired of both,
I
and
agree.
it's just
I
like
agree,
me.
but
I am an independent, and here's the reason why I like being an independent. Because I'm like you, I do my research, but I do my research on both sides of the aisle. Okay, if I run into a Democrat that I don't like, then I'll research the Republican Party to the guy, and then or girl or whoever it may be. And then if I like their views, now don't if they sit there like this clown down here, I talked about this a while back ago on my Facebook page, running on Trump alone. That pissed me off because it's like I want to ask him, what are you going to do for us here in this town here? You're representing me. The only thing you can tell me you're running for Trump to help Trump. Well, I don't like Trump, so what are you doing? How can you gain my vote if that's your only way of becoming up? What are you going to do? You can't
and
think for yourself. I mean, you cannot, and that's
and
what bothers me.
that that's why if I'm going into a race that I know nothing about, I will blindly vote Democrat simply because the Republican Party, long time ago, back in what was it, the late 60s, early
Right.
70s, declared that they will follow whoever the head of their party is and they will vote together as one, regardless of what they are actually feeling. There are very, very few exceptions to that rule. In fact, I just seen a clip of a Republican, and I can't remember his name, going completely ballistic, saying that he has to answer to his constituents at home. He's not given an opportunity to vote the way he wants to for his constituents, the way the people who he's supposed to represent want him to vote, simply because the rules of the party dictate that
Right.
he
I
has
know.
to
Yeah. It's
follow
hard.
the party.
Yeah. It's hard because you got to go in and you got to fight that crowd. But uh, I still think you can still vote your conscience. I'm sorry. To me, that means you're a weak minded person. Like if I was in office, even as a Democrat, I'm gonna vote what's on my mind. I don't care. You guys can be mad at
Exactly.
me or not.
And,
I'm sorry. I'm not following
exactly.
no line. I just won't do it.
Exactly. And that's why I will blindly vote Democrat simply because it's a double-edged sword that that same weakness that we're talking about is usually based around the individualism of the party. So
Right.
you have so many different diverse views in on the left
Yeah.
that will vote their conscience or vote toward their group, as opposed to on the Republican part, they will vote whatever the Republican Party decides, whether they agree or not, simply because otherwise they feel like they'll be kicked out of the party.
Right.
So that usually comes to my mind, that even if I don't know a specific candidate, I know because the Democratic Party doesn't have those same rules of engagement per se, um, that he or she is more likely to follow their heart, mind, conscience.
Well, here's where I get right, and I'm gonna tell you a little story here. And the reason I say I'm independent and I have done because this was we were living in our old place probably about 4 or 5 years ago in our old apartment, a house out here, and this guy come knocking on my door during the last election. It was a local election, so I mean, it's still still important. And he was a Republican running on a Republican ticket. So I took the time to stand outside and talk to him for quite a while. And me and him got to know each other. And I told him I'm an independent, but I don't vote a party. I vote the person. And he told me what he was running for. So we talked for a good while, a good while. So then he left, and next thing I know, 2 weeks later, he stopped back by to say hi to me and see how I was doing. And we talked some more again. So I was looking at it, but during the meantime, he told me who he was running against. And there was this black lady, an African American lady. So I'm doing so much research on her. And I'm like, this girl is cuckoo in the head. Something ain't right with her. So I kept doing my research on her. And then he came back, and me and him talked again. And we talked about Trump and all the other crap, but he made me feel comfortable with him, and that I know I could trust him and that he's going to be for the community, versus the black lady who was running on a Democratic ticket that I didn't trust worth as far as I could spit. So, and I guess that's why I run independent, because it gives me the choice, not to
And
vote
and
just because
I
she's black, not just because she's a Democrat, because you still, to me, got to be a decent person. And that is my first and foremost thing I want to know. You are a decent person.
and I get that. I truly do. I understand, and I can follow that logic. And like I said, I do my research along party lines. My problem is, and maybe because that was a more of a local election that you spoke of,
Right, yeah.
that I would be more likely to cross party lines if that were the case.
But you can't
Because
as a registered Democrat. You don't get that option. And that's the problem. No, you don't get that option. You don't, when they
well,
send you a ticket out
maybe
there, well, they do send you both. I think
yeah,
you can't, you can't vote in the primary. I think that's what it is. You can vote in the general, but you can't vote in the primary.
I can.
Can you? I think
Yeah.
that's it's something about that. If you're a registered Democrat, you can only vote in the
Well,
Democratic
maybe in
primary.
maybe in some states. Here in Michigan, I can go in and vote either party regardless. Um,
Because
but
most of the states have closed primaries, so it depends on where you're at. If you're a registered Democrat, you can only vote in the Democratic primary. If you're a registered Republican, you're going to only vote in the registered Republican. But when it comes to the general election, now you got a Democrat and Republican. So you don't get to choose who gets to run against them because it's already picked out already. So you got your choice between the two. You know what I mean?
okay, yeah.
So then now
But
you can vote Democrat and Republican now, because now you're voting against the other two. So anyway, yeah. But anyway, hey, we're running out of time. But go
yeah,
ahead. I'll let you talk.
I'm right there with you. I I could see that, and maybe in a local election where, in theory, a Republican doesn't have to vote party line, but we've seen on a federal level that
Oh, it's strictly
every
party line. Yeah,
single every single vote that has gone through
it's all
over
party.
the past year and a half, or definitely during this administration, but for the last 10 years, has been pretty much straight down party lines.
Absolutely,
If they
absolutely.
don't vote with their party, then they vote absentee or just don't vote at all.
Right, they don't show up. Right.
So, so here we are, and that, I think, is a message that, again, the Democrats miss out on. They say it every once in a while, but they don't. They don't use those votes like they should.
No, no,
If they did, like, these votes aren't secret votes,
no.
but for some of these issues that come up, some of these budget issues, for example, that come up, some of these issues about where your tax dollars are going to be spent come up, they should be blasting, hey, look, these are the people who voted against you getting
Absolutely.
XYZ. These are the people who voted for your hard-earned tax dollars that you put into the system
Right,
to go toward a golden ballroom that
right,
was promised that would cost the American taxpayers $0.
right. Exactly.
This is where your tax dollars went after it was voted that we pay for whatever foreign country that was that we bailed out.
Right.
You know, you know, these are, you're 100% correct. These are things that are missed. These are things that
Well, they
would
missed
be.
opportunities. Yeah, they're just not. They're
These are
not
these are
talking.
places where the Democrats should be yelling, screaming, jumping up and down, saying, "Hey, look here, look here, look." I realize that, like we said, things are usually voted party line when it comes
Right,
to um, the Republican side. Things are always voted straight down party lines,
right,
um, and therefore, on most types of votes, the Dems have zero power. Um, but that should be when they say, "Hey, America, look, this is these are the villains here. These are the people who are spending your money like drunken sailors.
Yeah,
These
exactly.
are the ones that are showing you zero respect."
But here's what they got to do because the Democrats are sitting their approval rate is like hell low too, and yeah, they should get together in the DNC, which I don't understand why they're not. All of them, and have a big powwow and come together and say, hey, we got to find some talking people out here that are good in front of the camera and force them in front of the camera. The news will pick that up and not just talk about how bad these folks are, but what are we going to do to combat that situation? So, look, they're spending your money on a ballroom. What we want to do is take that money and we want to put it here. This is how we're going to help the American people. If you guys put us back in office, yes, we blew it the last term. We blew it. We had our nose stuck up our ass or something. Just be upfront with the American people. We had our nose stuck up our ass thinking everything was great. We got it. We hear you. We're sorry. We won't let it happen again. This is what we're going to do to help you from now on. They got to get that message out there. They have to. Because right now, every time you turn around, Trump and the Republicans are defining the Democrats as bonehead losers. And
Exactly.
there's nobody to combat that. There's nobody. AOC is out there talking. God, what did she say the other day? I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? I can't remember what she said. It was crazy. I'll figure it out. We'll talk about it on the next show. But it was just crazy. And not to say I dislike the girl. I don't dislike her because I don't know that much about her. She's from New York, I think, or California. She's from New York or somewhere.
Uh,
She used to be a
can't
bartender somewhere. I don't know. But anyway, so and Bernie Sanders, I mean, come on, Grandpa, go somewhere and sit down. Just please sit. You're not the person we want to hear from. So, but we don't have that one person. They don't have that one person or a bunch of people that sit out there and Say, I want you in front of the camera every step of the way. I want you to talk to Fox. I want you to talk to CNN. And I want you to get on camera constantly saying, this is what we blew it, folks. We blew it. This is what we're going to do for you. This, as a Democratic Party, this is what we're going to do for you. Because right now, I still don't know what they're going to do for us. I still do not know. If they take over Congress and the Senate, what are you going to do to help us? Besides saying how bad Trump is. I still don't know. And you know, and that's sad, you know, and that's where they're losing the American people at. You know, it's just they don't have a message, and they got to get a message together. And Trump's giving them all kind of stuff to talk about. That's the bad thing. The Republicans and everybody giving the Democrats a bunch of stuff to talk about, and they're not doing it. It's like, wait a minute, are you kidding me?
Exactly. I mean, we are getting far more, and right back to my favorite source, we're getting far more information from the Lego news videos.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's cracking me up, man.
Yeah, than we are from our real political party people.
Yeah.
You know, and if they want to get out there and do anything, like you said, he's given ammunition every single day. Well, somebody in the DNC needs to be watching these videos every morning, because it doesn't take but a couple of hours for these folks to drop these videos.
Oh my God, they're on it 24 hours a day, man. I seen one the other day, had me cracking up.
Oh yeah, they're on top of it. If we had somebody, and they're humorous, a lot of
and
them
they're funny, exactly.
They're funny. They're good music.
Well,
I mean, it's all there.
Look what that guy's doing running for in California for the mayoral race. I mean, he's got these memes out there and shit, and I mean, his ratings are climbing, and he's running for the mayoral race in California, and he's doing all these, I mean, videos, Star Wars videos, and all this other stuff against his opponents and stuff. It's like, come on, Democrats, that's what you need to be doing. You got to get with the times, man.
Right, and you can't ignore it. And I don't remember, was it you who said, if you hear another Democrat ever say we got to let the past be the past, or we got to move on from the past, I'm gonna go nuts, because at this point we've had too much of let the past be in the past thinking.
Yeah.
Because the high road is just a road to nowhere.
Yeah, that wasn't me. That was I what I said when Obama's what's the name? She said, when they go low, we go high, and that pissed me off. It's like, screw that shit. You know, I'm like, you know, they go low, let's go scorch earth on them, because that's how I am as an OG. You want to fight, let's fight this shit. I'm going to get nasty. And that's what the Democrats got to do. They got to play dirty just as bad as these guys. They got to do some humorous things out there. Get the public, because these young kids out there, they love that stuff. Like even Iran's doing, they think that's funny. I mean, they love that. Anything, and that's all on a computer. So, I mean, people, and that, where do you think all these people are at? They're on a computer. They're on TikTok. They're on X. They're on Facebook. You got to get to these people the way they need to be gotten to, and that's on those sites. And put these humorous things out there. Put a face on Donald Trump like the Joker or something, and make some meme of him out there, and then get out there and talk about what you're going to do to turn this country around.
100%.
You know, 100%. start naming them as a villain, and figure out what you're going to do, and let the American people what you're going to do, and say, we screwed up. We were donkeys. We were jackasses. We didn't pay no attention to what you folks really want. And this is what we wind up with, is this guy now. We're going to fix our problem so we can help you. And that's what they got to do. They got to be honest, and they got to get on. Hey, we got to get up out of here, bro. We went, sorry about that, folks. We went 15 minutes over, but it was a great conversation that need to be had. You know, and we can touch base back on it next week or whatever if you want. But don't forget, folks, every Tuesday at 5 o'clock Eastern time, check us out, you know, on Respect the Talk. Hey, every week I'm dropping a live shot too. Check that out too on our Respect the Talk page. Our producer generally puts that out there because I do a live thing or something stupid. I don't know what, talking about whatever. But check that out. Maybe we can get Boo doing that and dropping that out there on Respect to Talk too, so we can get his opinion and see what's going on in the street. But hey, check us out on our www.respecttotalk.com. Send us an email. Send Boo an email. Say hi, everybody. Just let us know what you want to talk about. My name is Jerry B. This is Boo. Hey, guys, we love you. God bless you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Welcome to Respect the Talk with Jerry B.